Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and I am alive. I'm alive. Uh, I thought I would come on, of course, after I felt better. So I just want to put out there to people, I'm better. I went through quite a flu. but I'm way past my fever and went through the day after the fever and then went through the day of like where you walk around and I am alive and I am back and I want to talk about this really crazy weekend we're about to have. Because there's a lot going on. So this is the weekend report for the weekend of February 15th through the 16th of 2020. Now we got a lot to cover, and of course, I'm not in the studio. I'm here at my house. I haven't been in the studio in a week. So literally, last time I was there was Friday. And was I? Yeah, I was there. I don't even know. It's been a while. And then I did Conscious Life Expo. So it's Thursday night. Yeah. I was there. So there's a lot going on this weekend. Number one, we all know it's a Mercury Retrograde weekend happening on Sunday. But before we even get to that Mercury Retrograde, we got Saturday with a lot going on here. And of course, we're going to show you this the way that I like to do things here. The sun at 26 degrees, and again, here we are. We are on Saturday. This is about 1:35 p.m. Pacific time, so about 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And we've got the sun at 26 degrees of Aquarius, and we've got the moon here at 26 of Scorpio. So we're going to have the sun, moon, three-quarter square. That's how we're starting this weekend off. Now, this is a weird three-quarter square of the sun and the moon. One is the sun is at its detriment, remember that, when it's in Aquarius. So it's not in the most greatest space, although it does learn a lot in detriment. It learns how to kind of focus off of its own self and focus on others, focus on the future, kind of get out of its moment in its own way. But, these are fixed energies still. And the moon's at its fall position in Scorpio. So this is always one of the weirder sun square moons, unlike the opposite when the sun's in Leo and the moon's in Taurus. The moon's exalted and the sun's dignified. So it's opposite. This is actually the opposite of my energy. Hence, I've been sick this week and so forth. But what's really interesting about it, and I do have the chat going in here for some people who ever do want to rewatch it again, sexual tension. But it's interesting because this is a pretty big wake-up call. Number one, the moon in Scorpio it's digging deep. It's trying to survival, one, passion. But this sun in Aquarius has been just trying to fix our lives or figure out the future of where things are going. And it's been a weird month. I don't even know, right? I mean, like just February's been weird. January was really weird. And this moon in Scorpio is trying to get like an investigator emotionally. Like, I might be at fall position, but I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Maybe it's good for me to fixate so intense on the emotion and not let it go. I don't think it's a bad sun square moon, to be honest with you. I think that we're all like, what the fuck am I passionate about? What the hell am I going to do to survive to get to the future? You can look at that in many different ways, especially with Venus. Venus here at 9 degrees, it just went through coming into, Friday and even the end of Thursday was square the nodes, right? So remember that north node there at 7 degrees of Cancer, that south node there with Mars getting close. And we're going to see Mars, of course, we'll talk about this, going to come into Capricorn Sunday. But Mars at 29 degrees, the last day of being in Sagittarius, there's a lot of trying to figure out and understand and have the courage to get all the answers, to get all the positive doorways, because it knows it's going into Capricorn. Now, Mars loves Capricorn, don't get me wrong, but it does not like the South Node. So it's like, I'm coming into some power, but also Mars is not the only big dog that's in Capricorn. Remember, we got Jupiter, we got Pluto, we got Saturn, and we got the South Node. So we're about to get a whole lot of intense energy going into Capricorn, right? So this Sun square Moon, this Venus square the nodes is trying to understand, with Venus already at its detriment, right? Venus is like already weird on the nodal access point, trying to understand relationships, money, self-worth. And especially in Aries, it's just trying to identify where the comfort is in relationships, where the comfort is in manifesting in money, and how to take action towards that. Venus is in Mars's house. That's why it's at detriment, right? Like this is Mars territory where it has to take action. So Venus is like putting on, Venus in Aries reminds me too of like the old 1940s American, woman, like I'm signing up for the country to fight for it, and she's rolling up her sleeves kind of energy. That's Venus and Aries, and it's like we're all trying to figure out how to get to the future to make us feel better. How are we going to feel better? Even Venus in Scorpio. I mean, the moon in Scorpio wants to feel better. It wants to feel passion and edge and connection. So does the Sun in Aquarius. So I think that this is not bad, but I think that when you're coming up with no results or no answers, you could go into freak out, which there is no reason to. Of course, it's easy to freak out with Mercury that stopped stationing direct and then going stationary retrograde on Sunday at 12 degrees in Pisces. It's very confusing in Pisces, right? It's like, oh, you know what? I think that's that person over there. Is that Bobby over there? Let me go check and see. And then you walk over to the table and you're like, that is not Bobby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, sir. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. You kind of start seeing, it's a lot like Marco Polo. Like, hello, Marco Polo. There's a lot of really hard energy to understand right now. But I don't think that this is bad to have the Sun square the moon on Sunday. It's like we are no longer going to be able to emotionally attach ourselves to anything that we feel is not fixable. I love Aquarius because it is the ultimate fixer. It fixes things. It finds solutions, inventions, fix things. They bring a solution to something. But if it's just like a future that you are not seeing, it's not evolving, because that's what the future is. That's why Aquarius, I love it, because it's evolving constantly. It's always wanting to evolve and keep moving it into a much better place. But if our emotions are stuck to something and it's not evolving, that's not it's not gonna happen anymore. That moon in Scorpio will bite. It's gonna bite you. No! Stop doing that. Stop being connected to that shit. But that may be hard though, because the moon in Scorpio is like, but I have so much that I'm attached to there. And the Sun in Aquarius is like, hey, I'm the Sun here, and I'm at detriment, and you're at fall. So we're trying to evolve, and you're stuck on this emotional situation that ain't letting us evolve. Let that shit go. What does Aquarius do? It disconnects. So we're gonna have to disconnect from where our emotions are being stuck on situations that aren't evolving us forward. Mars at 29 of Sag is saying, hey, I'm about to come to Capricorn with the South Node and with all these other planets there. I've got all these options in my life. Why don't I take the option that's going to be a courageous option, but one that offers me an opportunity? So there's an opportunity available for everybody this weekend before the Mercury goes retrograde on Sunday. So use Saturday as if you know you can no longer be in it, and especially with Venus at 9, 9. About to come to that second decan. There's no need for you to identify or be in any situation with anything project-wise, relationship-wise, or even in your self-worth that is just not you. Not comfortable either. But if you're doing things by this moral, I gotta do this because morally I'm doing it, well, that's why there's a South Node there in Capricorn saying, I'm sorry, We're rewriting all of what our moral cues are in our lives because we got to all find what makes sense now in life and what works. And I think that's what's hard for people is people get stuck in kind of this old kind of systematic way of living, like, oh, it's got to be this way still in life. I got to still stay on this, even though maybe you don't really, it's not working for you. And it's okay for that to happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay for things to not work, So I think that this is a very important moment for us all to really realize, hey, this is a beautiful Saturday, even though it's a lot going on. I'm not going to lie. But it's a moment for us to realize before Mercury becomes into stationary retrograde and before Mars comes into Capricorn, where we have to start living with decisions and going with those decisions, that we have an opportunity to take courage and take a door. Take a door. Take a door to a better life. That's what this sun-moon square is. Because we do not want to keep evolving on something that we're attached to that's not evolving. Because even Scorpio is an evolutionary element, right? Like, it's wanting to transform into something that does go better in life, that evolves to the rising of the phoenix. So this is a major, major moment. But you've got to be able to be willing to change. Like, if it's not evolving, over. Not evolving, done. Not moving in my future, not fixable, out. That's what's got to go down. We all know this. We all know this. All right. And, we haven't even talked about Jupiter, but we'll talk about that here as I show you what's coming up right here. Okay. Here's the Mercury retrograde chart. February 16th of 2020 at 4:54 p.m. Pacific. Mars comes into Capricorn earlier that day. So there it is with the South Node, and there's no more Mars in Sag. We are done with all the Sag energy. You are not going to see any major planets in Sag for a long time. And we do not count Venus and Mercury because those are just personal inner planets. Mars is a 2-year go. We're not seeing Mars there for 2 more years. We're not seeing anything in Sag for a long time. Definitely not going to see Mercury there for a long time. So, not going to see the sun there for a long time. So, all we're going to keep seeing is the moon. That's it. So, at least the moon is in Sag during this, but the moon is going to be squaring Mercury retrograde. This is going to be a very confusing Mercury retrograde emotionally, especially about your hopes and optimism and did I make the right emotional options or did you not make any? And now you're going to be wondering, and there's going to be 2 ways to look at this. Are you going to spend, and here, I'll do it this way. There's going to be two roads here. Okay? Oh, here, we'll move this over to make it better for people. All right. 2 roads. Okay? There's you made a choice for change, and you didn't. Hold on, that's the worst writing ever. I was sick for the last 6 days, so you can give me, oh my gosh, all my tarot cards. And I have tarot cards too, but not doing this at the studio is really different. All right. Give me a sec. Give me a sec here. All these beautiful tarot cards. So there's the choice that you made a change for a better life to evolve, and you took a risk by opening up for an opportunity. I don't know if that's much of a risk, but it's going to feel like a risk. We are in a lot of Capricorn. Or then there's that you didn't. Okay, thank you. Didn't change shit. Okay, so you'll spend the next 3 weeks in the Mercury retrograde with the choice to change, observing that over the next 3 weeks, even though it's going to be confusing and looking at, well, okay, let me look at these opportunities and let me figure this out and let me see how that's all going. And then there's the I didn't do shit. And it's going to be like, well, what the fuck do I need to change now? Because, uh-oh, and it will be really weird and very confusing and a lot of really weird shit going on. I think it'll be a lot easier to just be honest on Saturday with your life than it would be to spend the next 3 weeks in a fucking tailspin. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to be in tailspin or at least kind of a squiggly, but at least, you know, imaginary place. Like looking for things in a different way. I love you all too. I'm definitely feeling much better. Yeah, whatever that flu was is gnarly. Gnarly. It was gnarly. Not an easy one. I'm not even drinking Sprite. If I do drink a soda, I'm drinking ginger ale, and I've just been drinking water and not even Powerade, but Gatorade, and that's been it. I will admit, though, I still hit the Juul once in a while. All right. Some things just don't change. So I get it if you don't make a choice to change things. Well, you know, I did not smoke a cigarette, though, for 5 days. I did have one, though, yesterday. So, oh, thank you. I have purged a lot. But so let's get back to the astrology real quick. Now, with Mars, okay, Mars loves Capricorn. So it's ambitious there, it's exalted, and it's got Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter in the South Node. Holy moly. That's a lineup. So fate becomes extreme. Because while this Mercury retrograde goes down, now remember, this Mercury retrograde is going to be for 3 weeks here, okay? We're going into March in this Mercury retrograde. Remember that February only goes 29 days this year. And this is already an extended February just because we're in a leap year. So you already got the 16th, and then you've got this 13 days, and then you still got another week after that. You got to start thinking ahead here. Fast. One thing about Mercury and Pisces, I have always noticed this, especially before it goes retrograde, it just comes up at the last minute. Like, fuck, shit, I gotta do that, man. What was I doing? I knew it's like that bill you know you're supposed to pay, and it's just so far in the background. Like, oh no, the date I thought was this date. But imagine that in real life scenarios or even real bills. But I'm just saying, like, fuck. I know I've been knowing I need to do something about this. You have the opportunity on Saturday, like I said, but someday, Mercury retrograde with Mars and Capricorn, that is now extreme. Like Mars is like, I'm gonna start taking action in my life to go. Even though Mercury's retrograde, Mars is not gonna stop doing shit. This is not gonna be like, hold the phone, Mercury's retrograde for 3 weeks, I can't do shit. Yeah, right. You think you think Saturn and Capricorn at these last degrees is going to stop? Hell no. This zone right here, Saturn really likes these degrees, believe it or not. He's really tough here. Very Mars-ish here. Okay? And now we've got Jupiter. Jupiter at 17. Sextile Neptune at 17. So I'm going to erase this. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Here we go. Oh. Okay. There we go. All right. So, here we go. 17. You all know I loved Saturn and Capricorn. And I was talking about it for 2 years. I was talking about it a year prior. One of my favorite transits of all the last couple years in Capricorn was at least Saturn and Neptune, because it was the quest. Now Jupiter is here with the sextile to Neptune to open up opportunities to this spiritual quest. The two spiritual planets are now in alignment in the two signs dealing with the quest energies. So do you really want to use the Mercury retrograde as a amazing imaginative quest for change in your life into a much more exciting life that's gonna, sure, we all are trying to figure out the future, we all have a lot of concerns, but are we gonna make the choice this weekend to align ourselves for this Mercury retrograde that's gonna be a great, beautiful, opportunistic quest? Remember, Jupiter and Neptune are gonna do this year multiple times, but this is the beginnings of it. So there's some major support going on, even though it looks like the world's going to fucking shit in a handbag. Mars in the South Node is definitely not a fun transit. The last time we saw this was the week of September 11th with the South Node in Mars and Capricorn, okay? So there was some alarming stuff I saw today that that the military's doing drills right now about the coronavirus in America, right? And it's like public knowledge. It's like front page shit. So sure, there could be some fear shit that's going to come through this Mercury retrograde. But it's like, not if you're in an alignment place where you're not in a place you don't want to be in your life, that's not taking you forward in your life. That shit's not going to affect you as much as it would as if, like, you're in a place you really don't want to be in your life anymore. Or you're in some situation in your life where you're like, I'm too afraid to let go and move into a future energy. You got to let go of control, because this Mars is going to want massive control, and Jupiter and Pluto and Saturn and the South Node, it wants control, extreme now. And are you going to put yourself into a place to where you're going to let control take over your life? Be honest, one of the reasons why I got sick was because I had put myself into such a place in my life where I put so much on control, so much when it came to control of my life, about my business, about everything, I can't lose any, if I lose the business, I finally had to get fucking sick. Control got me so sick to not only burn out, living my life till I was working so much, that I got the worst flu I'd ever got in my life, to finally realize that, you know what? So what? If I lose it all, I fucking lose it all. If I lose everything, if I lose studio, if I lose all my computers and my fucking home and all my cars, because everything's under a personal guarantee when you go this big in business as I have. So that my businesses don't protect me if I have to file BK. I will lose it all. But I had to realize, fuck it. I'm sure I'll be able to keep my cell phone, or at least one of them. And I can still do videos and fucking I'll figure out my life. And when I released to that, man, was there freedom. Because there's imagination. There's a quest that's going to happen that we don't have control of, but that's the good kind of control, right? Spiritual quest, God's fate. I don't think it's irony either. Like the last Terminator that just came out was called Dark Fate. So I think that this is a question in this Mercury retrograde for people. Are you going to step into dark fate, or are you going to step into God's fate? Because I don't think dark fate is God's fate, personally. It's a little bit of judgment day coming around right now for people in their lives. And that judgment day has to deal with if they're in a place of control. The whole irony of the whole Terminator series was Sarah Connor, and like that she feels that she had control of fate. That fate, something, I forgot the line, but there's nothing but the fate that we create. No. The whole irony in the whole entire fucking series is gets down to the whole fucking point that Judgment Day is always going down, including going down, even if fucking John Connor gets erased off the whole entire board. That's still some sort of similar event would go down. So I think that this is the ultimate learning to let go of control because she was wrong. If you have not watched Terminator Dark Fate yet, I recommend watching it. Because you'll realize at the end of it, she was wrong the whole time. They all were wrong. Every time they kept saying, like, "We'll bring another Terminator back," and then the machines are like, "We'll put another fucking Terminator to kill fucking that person," and then you know, it's like it's the never-ending story of the same bullshit, all lead to the same fucking shit. So is that how you're living your life? Just every minute, like, oh, I'm gonna keep controlling this fucking shit I'm so terrified of in my life, of losing or it not going the exact direction I want to. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Because Jupiter Neptune is the ultimate of letting it go. And while this is all happening, that moon is squaring Mercury. That is a very hard transit. Even in medieval and some of the more ancient astrology, Mercury moon square is not easy. I was born with that motherfucker. Why do you guys all think that I'm a little bit weird? Sometimes y'all like, what the fuck did this guy say? Because it's hard for me to express my emotions sometimes. Or sometimes I just say every emotion and I shouldn't. Or sometimes I don't know how to say what I mean emotionally. So, you know, with the moon in Sag, it's got a lot of feeling all over the place. But when it's squared by Mercury and Pisces retrograde, it's like, well, I don't really know how to spiritually understand that or to say that or to, you know, there's a lot of emotion there. I don't know, right? Like Mercury and Pisces and retrograde's offline. And remember, all the planets were direct. That's why I'm saying Saturday's so important. You can make a major choice with all the planets direct. Now, yes, when Mercury comes direct in 3 weeks, all the planets will still be direct. But, so there's always an opportunity. But, like, there's a better way to go through this transit than staying in the same place and going through all the same motions again. This Jupiter-Neptune's beautiful. It's one of my favorite aspects. We've never seen it, by the way, with Neptune and Pisces, with Jupiter and Capricorn. So, as far as in our lives, because Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011, so haven't seen Jupiter here. So, and especially with all this Capricorn stuff. But this Mars South Node thing, remember, is already going into an ego letdown, which of course already scares some people, but it's an ego letdown of control. Like it's more about coming into a revitalized ego, about a new, easier way to go about your life to reach where you want to reach and to have what you want to have. But you got to let go of this control or trying to identify yourself as some goal that you had set up before or some, you know, approach that you had in your life before that's not, you're not identified. It's not working for you. There's a lot about what's not working for you, just it ain't going to work no more. So instead of trying to continue to freak out and fix it and lose yourself to where you get sick, you don't want to do that shit. Trust me, it won't go good. It will not go good. So it's a very important moment for people to realize that this is a moment for people to really step into the more powerful self by allowing things to just go the way that they're going. And to follow wherever that goes. And to just let it be. You just gotta let it be. And some things you just have to let go completely of. Mars on the South Node has to let it go. Like, later. So it's important for people to just let it be. Now, you all know me. I come with secrets. How funny. The ex-wife calling me. Hold on, this will be funny. Everybody thinks my ex-wife and I don't talk or we're not cool. And we're cool. Yo, I'm live. You guys are all like, what the fuck? So, transits, Helio chart. This is where I'm going to blow all your mind, okay? This is shit blew my mind. You know me, whenever a major event happens in geoastrology, I'm going to show you what's happening in the Helio. Now remember, Helio is the sun at the center. That's the basis of the chart. So this is the sun, okay? So this is from the sun's point of view. So the Mercury retrograde, of course, is happening with Mercury in Helio at 17 degrees of Cancer. Now remember, why is that? Because Mercury goes 88 days around the sun, and here it is getting closer to the Earth. This is the Earth right here. And by the time Mercury gets up close to the Earth, that's when we have the Cassini point. Okay? Because remember, Mercury just keeps, there's no planets that go retrograde in Helio. But this is what's creepy. Not so much Mercury, Mars. Mars at 27 degrees of Scorpio. Remember, everything's not going to be in the same space. And this has nothing to do with sidereal and the 23 degrees off of that. None of that. No, this is the actual positions of the planets fucking from space, from the sun's point of view. So Mars is at 27 Scorpio and is exactly squared the Earth at 27. So there's a crisis going on during this Mercury retrograde of identity, passion, survival. Okay? 2, Venus in Gemini at 19 square to Neptune. So this brings up money, relationship situations, and massive confusion with Neptune. Like, during this Mercury retrograde. Massive. This is always going to be the shit that's going to be on top of the geo. Because the sun is what, it don't matter if you believe in flat earth or you believe in fucking round earth. It don't matter. That fucking Venus is squaring Neptune. And it don't matter that Mars is squaring the Earth. And Mercury at 17 is in a kite with the opposition to Pluto, Saturn. And look at this nice semi-sextile triangle. Bam. In this grand trine with Mercury, Mars, Neptune, even though it's not too exact, but we have Mercury and Neptune in trine. Your intuition's going to you're going to have to go with intuition the whole way through this one, this Mercury retrograde. And that is a typical Mercury in Geo retrograde in Pisces. But this one is definitely saying off the Helio that we're going to have to go that way. And I also think it's interesting, too, that Jupiter's only made it to 9 degrees. So it's not even at 10 yet. I was telling you all earlier the reason why Saturn, that in this chart, of course, Saturn's only gone to 23 degrees and 56 minutes. It's only 1 degree off Pluto. Of course, on Geo, we're seeing it over 3 degrees now, going almost 4. But what's interesting about this now is, remember, I'm running traditional deacons and I'm running Ptolemy deacons together. So when you add Ptolemy's deacon, Saturn rules the last 5 degrees of Capricorn. So when we go back to Geo, guess where Saturn is? It's in Saturn's land. It's a tough one right now. And these are about damn straight, hardcore fucking choices in people's lives right now. Major ones. Remember that the Earth is always going to be in the opposite side of where the sun is, because the Earth is looking at the sun like this, right? So of course here it is in Leo in a Mars energy, and it's being squared by Mars. Mars is the end of Leo. Of course, that's Regulus. Why do you think Regulus is such a strong thing? Now Regulus is in Mercury, but that Mars is intense and it's being squared by Mars. So there's like this crisis of identity and having to make a choice for identity during this Mercury retrograde. It's intense. It's intense. It's not easy. But I'm telling you all, it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be weird. All you have to do right now in this moment, is really go, I'm not in a crisis. I'm in a moment in my life where I have to take back, not control, but I have to take back the courage to make change in my life that I know I have to do, that's about a change that's going to make me feel better in my life. Because I'm not going to be afraid, even though it's confusing, Venus square Neptune. Oh my God. Especially in Gemini and Pisces, like, what the hell's going on? It's like, all it has to do is that you just maybe don't logically understand the exact future right now, especially because we're in Aquarius. If I go back to this chart on the Mercury retrograde, it's Aquarius time. The moon in Scorpio on Saturday is helping people see. Okay? And that's what I'm trying to tell people is people have a choice. You have a choice. Saturday's a huge day for you. What works for you and what doesn't, and what needs to change about that, and go through a major change. That Mars zone Capricorn, it might turn people into control freaks though. Like, I can't stop that, or no. And we all know with Mercury retrogrades, like, don't try and go backwards into some fucking weird situations and shit. Sometimes you gotta hash some old shit out. But definitely, this is about clearing shit. Especially in Pisces, right? At least Mercury does go back into Aquarius. It's gonna be like, okay, thank you, got some sort of clarity here. And then turning back on in Aquarius and getting us a break out of the Pisces. Last year we didn't get that at all. We went through, I think it was over 60-something days in Pisces. That was nuts. That was a long time. I did not have fun during that time. But let's pull some cards on all this stuff. I hope that this helped for people to see. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns to this one, but the greatest unknown is letting go of control. It helps if you can let go of control. You know what I mean? All right, let's see here. I'm using my Botticelli deck. And I'm using, I love this one because it's just called Tarot deck, but it's the original artwork. The original of Pamela. So Rider Waite is like brighter colors and stuff, but this is the original artwork. And that's what I like. So Pamela, what was it? So Pamela Smith. Coleman. Pamela Coleman Smith. So I'm going to pull one from her real quick because she's been coming to me. How can people make the best choice coming into this weekend for this Mercury retrograde, Mars and Capricorn, Jupiter, Neptune, and all the crazy stuff in the Helio? Temperance reversed. Yeah, you know what? The system and the way that things have been going isn't working well, so you're going to have to change your whole system and scheduling and so forth. It's just not working in the right way. I'll pull a Botticelli, and we did pull the death card reverse. So, you know, why are you so afraid to end something, especially in an old system that's not working? Why are you afraid? Let's see why. Why are people afraid? You're afraid that it's going to go bad, or you want to still overindulge in something, or still continue to put positive energy into something that's not giving you anything back in return. So don't be afraid of ending an old system in your life that's not working, and don't be afraid to end it, because actually it's not going to feel good. You might think it might feel good for the moment to keep something around that's in your life that you're just like, fuck, I want to keep it just because I'm afraid of what would be like with it gone. Huh. It's not going to change shit. You know what I mean? What's the best advice through this Mercury retrograde? Five of Cups reversed. It's not as bad as people think it is. It's not as sorrowful. It's not as crappy. Yes, there's going to be some losses and some let goes, but it's like, gee, many Christmas is not the end of the world. So if you think the end of the world's coming during this Mercury retrograde, I'm sorry to say it ain't going to happen. And what should people focus on during this Mercury retrograde? The death reversed again. See, I'm using two decks. What you're afraid to fucking end. Man. Don't people, I'm involved with all this, right? And we're all a collective. But, it's like, what the fuck is everybody, including myself, afraid of losing? There's a lot of fear of death. And so everybody's going to go into control to save themselves from death. Whether that's the virus, whether that's just because you've got something in your life, who knows? High Priestess, there's a higher intuition, then there's higher ups and angels and guides, and of course Spirit and God, number one, that is protecting us through all this. There's nothing to be afraid of to end. Zero. How's this going to affect relationships? We got the Six of Cups. Well, there's some really positive energy here about some really good memories to be made, some, much more calmer energy coming. I think, though, if you're coming from a place where you're not trying to, continue some shitty situations, ones that are really bad. Knight of Pentacles reversed. So afraid to start new things. It's afraid to try and move new places in relationships. You got to move the ball in a new direction. You can't just stay stagnant and stuck. Owie, mama. Why are people so stuck? Justice, you gotta do what's right for you and what's fair instead of doing what's unfair for you. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? That Justice card is definitely saying that, if it's not fair, it's not fair. If it's not equal and on the same page, it ain't equal and on the same page. You know what I mean? baby? Sleeping? Those Pisces, she's just sleeping through it all. Um, why don't somebody give me the last question for the collective to pull the cards on here? Then we're going to end this because it's 2 a.m. And I hope this helped. There's a way big, beautiful future coming here. David, you need to rest more and take adaptations. Don't say I didn't warn you. Thanks for the info, though. I'm very emotional. I'm playing and say with me. I really don't like when people act as if they're my doctor. That's the biggest problem with the spiritual community. That'd be like me saying, maybe you should wipe your butt with Preparation H wipes. Just because I got a feeling. Somebody said earthquakes. There may be any earthquakes. I've been thinking about that one with all the Capricorn stuff. 8 of Wands. Well, I think we're going to get some news of some earthquakes. But 8 of Wands is pretty positive, although it is news about things coming really fast and head on. But I live in earthquake world, and I'm not afraid of earthquakes. I was going to ask about how work and money were going to be, because I think it's a pretty big thing with the markets and with China and stuff. People worried about their job, money, all that. Oh, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. 3 of Cups reversed. So I think people are feeling not really joyous about their money situations right now into this. But I think that we have to find new people or new ways to come together with different people to make money. And I think that, the way that we've been super excited or it's always worked on how we made money isn't working anymore. It is Uranus and Taurus. So I think that this is definitely going to be a moment for us to realize, we just got to find new ways to make money. We got to find better ways. We got to find new people. We got to find better ways to be more excited about things instead of focusing on what's not exciting anymore. I'll pull another card for the money thing. Ace of Cups. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable, but you got to let go of where you're feeling unsatisfied or unfulfilled with your money right now and fill that with something that's much more positive and much more better. So definitely money's not looking like it's going well coming into this, but it can go very well if you come from a much better emotional space and about a space and realizing that the old way was the old way. Now there's going to be some new ways that show up that you're going to have to do on your own and with other people, but it's still on your own, and how you put yourself out there differently. You try different things and you realize that the old way is the old way and there's a new way. And you got to be willing to try those new things, whether you try a new job or try a new way of doing it or whatever. You got to try something different. You know what I mean? Do you think this is a good year for artistic and creative types or people making money? It's always a great time for that. But you got to always keep trying new things. I mean, I know that. Is it okay to make financial investments now? That's a good question. I mean, I would say astrologically, no. 8 of Swords reversed. It'd be a good time to pull the fuck out of investments, not put in. You know what I mean? I got so much rest, I slept Monday through Wednesday and didn't even wake up for more than enough. I didn't even eat. I just slept and water and Gatorade. I had 102.7 fever for 3 days straight. This is the most rest I've ever gotten in over a decade. this week. Like I said, I would not recommend people start buying investments during a Mercury retrograde in Pisces, no matter what it is. Yeah, I probably lost 5. Flus make you lose weight. I lost like fucking 4 pounds on this one. I didn't finally eat full meals until like the last 2 days. I feel way more better now, but flus will fuck you up, you know. Started like Sunday for me, and here it is Friday, and they usually say about day 4, day 5 you start feeling better, and I'm coming on day 6, and come back slowly. Yep, more doctors coming. So, I mean, yeah, could have been whatever kind of purge, but it was definitely a flu. Um, but yeah, no, I don't get the flu shot. But I went to the Conscious Life Expo on Saturday and spoke, and then met probably 1,000 people, and that's what happens. I mean, that event had 4,000 people. I mean, it was also the day Russell Brand spoke, so I mean, everybody was there. I mean, it was packed. So I shook probably 400 people's hands. I had hand sanitizer, but you can't in life. You just can't, like, do whatever you can to protect yourself. I took all the stuff. I take vitamin C every day. You know what I mean? So, just like, it just happens. You know what I mean? No, I wasn't able to catch Russell Brand. We did our astrology panel 9:30 to 11:30, and then I just hung out with fans until 3:30, and I did some interviews. So Russell Brand's awesome. He's the real deal. But he also did a lot about, and he talks a lot about like the recovery, and stuff. And I went through all my recovery stuff on my own, like over a decade ago. Like I haven't been doing drugs since 2006. So I don't know. I just, that's not my bag, baby, anymore. But I think when he's not talking about that, I'm all about his stuff. But when he gets more into the old drug stuff, I'm like, okay, I talk about that stuff. So I'm like, it doesn't interest me as much. But I think he's amazing. I think that motherfucker's the most real guy ever out there. I honestly am fucking proud of that guy for who he was and what he's done with his brand and moved it to complete spirituality. I mean, he's fucking an amazing human being. I'm stoked that guy's in our community, and he loves everybody. I don't know a better representative for it. I think he leads a lot of us out there. So, yeah. So for me, when it goes into recovery stuff, I'm like, eh. Oh, people want me to extend my message in the Leonardo painting. So, if you go on my Instagram, I put up a picture of Leonardo, the Annunciation, when Angel Gabriel approaches Mary before she's the Virgin Mary. And Leonardo's version, Gabriel is kneeling, but they both are speaking with each other's hands, but kneeling before Mary. Whereas in every other depiction of the Annunciation, Gabriel always just comes and Mary's just kind of like, okay, I'm about to take this virgin, But they say in old folklore But the angels fucked who they wanted, and that's how the Virgin was created, right? So, right? So, but it was like, at least there was, like, Leonardo da Vinci's version is showing that there was honor and there was a right of honoring and asking Mary if she would take it, instead of the depiction that, like, God's making it happen this way. You know what I mean? Like, there it is. The masculine is just going to take you over and impregnate you with Jesus. There you go. You know? And it's just a beautiful picture of Jupiter Neptune to me, because it's this, Jupiter and Neptune deal with these spiritual planets, and they're in combination right now. And there's this beautiful connection in Capricorn, which is integrity and respect, with Pisces of the spiritual and the beautiful and the connected world, with Neptune there in its home sign. And there's this beautiful coming together and communication. I love the way that Leonardo speaks with hands. And in that one, he was still a student. He was young in that picture when he painted it, that painting. You can look more deep into it. Maybe I'll talk more about it some other time. But I hope you all have a good weekend. Enjoy this. Get your shit together before that retrograde. Ain't gonna be an easy one if you choose not to do anything about it Saturday and just kind of sit on things and just, you have an option. You have options. Let's say that. All right. I love you all. I will talk to you later. And keep it real. I missed you all. Later.